Kadosh, Boker Or, Shavua Tov, Daf Yomi Masechet Shevuot, Daf 45a. Welcome our doctor. Yeah. 954. So he comes and he says like this. If you remember, we started last class, right? We started last class. Mem Daled Amud Bet. We started with a Mishnah. And we started speaking about anybody that has to swear, right? Mina Torah. So they are going to swear and they're not going to pay. And then there's people that are going to swear and they have to take out money. Meaning, usually when you swear, you become exempt from paying. So, for example, I have to come and I have to swear. When I swear, I come, okay, now I don't have to pay you anymore. Why? Because I swore. So that's usually the case, whether it's going to be modeh b'miktzat, that I had partial admittance to what we're talking about, Shevuat ha'edut, or Shevuah on pikadon, right? Somebody gave me an item to watch, right? Not a collateral is a mashkon. There's not a collateral. That's why I was careful with using my words, right? It's basically that a pikadon. Pikadon means I come and I tell you, can you watch this? That's not a collateral. I come and ask you, can you watch this? It's called, right? Right, that's a pikadon, right? It's not a mashkon, it's a pikadon. So I come and I tell you, can you just watch this for me? And then you come and you say it was stolen. It's stolen. Swear to me it was stolen. He swears he doesn't have to pay me back. Why? It was bemet. It was force majeure. He doesn't have to pay me back. Somebody who wasn't paid. 1 minute. So now there's these people were the people that what? Nishba'im, they swear, velo meshalmin, they don't have to pay. There's other people that they're going to be nishba'im, but then they pay. So who's that? For example, a worker. I come and I tell you, listen, pay me back, pay me up. I need my salary. You come and you say, what are you talking about? I already paid you. So what are you talking about? You didn't pay me. So here, I'm the worker. I swear and I collect my salary. It's called a sachir. Next, an igzal, somebody that stole from me. I swear and I take back my property. Right? Nechbal, somebody comes, they hit me. I swear and I actually collect the money of damages. Why? I come in and say, you beat me up. So I come and I swear and I'm going to take it. And kenegdo chashud ala shevuah. Kenegdo chashud ala shevuah means that what happens if the person in front of you cannot swear because he's suspected of lying. So we flip the coin, meaning we flip it that instead of that person swearing, I have to swear and take the money instead of him swearing and being exempt. And the last case here was chenvani ala pinkas. What does that mean? In many stores, you go to the store, for example, and you take on credit, right? So therefore, in this case, this is called chenvani al pinkaso. So you're taking on credit. Okay, now the Mishnah comes and it's going to analyze. Yeah, you're checking it up, right? The Mishnah is going to come and analyze each one. Mem Daled Amud Bet, אנחנו במשנה. Right? זה איפה אנחנו התחלנו, אנחנו אמורים להיות במ"ה עמוד א'. Now we're מם ד' עמוד ב'. אנחנו במ"ם ד' כבר התחלנו את המשנה. אנחנו כבר עשינו את זה פעם שעברה ביום שישי. Yeah, now again, sachir. Shh. Yeah, come closer here. Yeah. Shomer merchak. He says like this, sachir keitzad. What's the case of sachir? Yeah. So the sachir is amarlo ten li schari, give me my salary. And the guy comes and he says, so right, uomer, natati, I already gave it to you. Hala omer, the guy comes and says, what are you talking about? I didn't take anything. So what happens is he's going to be nishbam notel. He swears and he takes his salary. Rabbi Yehuda says there has to be a modeh b'miktzat. How? He comes and he says, give me $50 a Yomi or whatever it is. The guy comes and he says, you already got it, or you already got 20, or you already got something. Then you're going to have to swear. So it's going to be a machloket, Rabbi Yehuda and Tanakama. Next case, nigzal. Right? We're actually, doctor, we're on 44b. We're just analyzing the Mishnah step by step. Because we just started again the Mishnah, even though we already did it, but we just did it just that way people understand the flow. So we're on nigzal now. Nigzal means that it was stolen, right? Well, okay, on the bottom of the page. It's 44b on the bottom. So nigzal keitzad. What's the case of somebody that had something stolen from them? So imagine right now people come to the Bedin, right? That they say, listen, this guy comes into the house of this guy to take a collateral, shelo b'rishut, but he didn't do it with the permission of Bedin. So who omer, he says, no, I took my own utensils. And the other guy comes and says, no, I didn't take it. So again, he's going to come and he's going to swear. And then he's going to take it, just like an igzal, meaning he's going to be, he does a shevuah and he takes back his utensils. Rabbi Yehuda says, again, you have to have modeh b'miktzat. What's a modeh b'miktzat? Keitzad, if he comes and he says, you took 2 utensils, and the guy only said, no, I only took 1, that's modeh b'miktzat. The last case on that page was nechbal. What is nechbal? Somebody comes and he beats him up. So it says, imagine somebody comes into this room, they come fine. All of a sudden they come out with a black eye, with a this, with a that. Yeah, serious stuff over here. Yeah. So what happens? Yeah. So he says over here, right? What happens? Amarlo, he comes and he says, you hit me. The woman, he says, I didn't do it. So what does he do? He swears and he takes the nezek. So basically, they came, they beat me up. I come, I swear that you beat me up. I take the money. I take the nezek, the damages. Rabbi Yehuda says again, it has to be moda b'miktzat. What's the case? He comes and he says, you hit me twice. And the guy says, no, I only hit you once. Right? He says, chaval, I didn't hit you twice. But he said, but I only hit you once at the end. Yeah? So he says, yeah. So what happens in such a case? That's when he's going to be chayav. Okay? This is how we're starting today's daf. Right? So today's daf starts like this. Achat shvuat ha'edut, v'achat shvuat ha'pikadon, v'achat shvuat, v'afilu shvuat shav. Doesn't matter whether it's shvuat ha'edut, pikadon, or shvuat shav. Remember, shvuat ha'edut is, I come and I tell you, you know testimony about me. And the guy swears, he says, I don't know nothing about you. He says, yeah, but you were there when you saw the loan. You were there. That's edut. You know testimony. The guy swears that he doesn't know anything. Or shvuat ha'pikadon. Again, what was shvuat ha'pikadon? I tell you, watch over my object. And then all of a sudden you come and he said, what are you talking about? You didn't give me anything. That's called Shevuat Pikadon. Or even Shevuat Shav. Shevuat Shav just means, Stam, you swore falsely for something. If one of these people were gamblers, they would play with dice. Or malveh beribit. They lend out with interest. Right? Mafrichei yonim. Or they do in the olden days. Nowadays, I think they still do it with horses. Right? But in the olden days, they used to do it with yonim. Which means they used to bet on which horse is quicker and who's going to win. So they would have they would have different races, and I would say, okay, I think horse number 12 is going to win. I don't know. They do it until today, correct? Sure. Yeah. Okay, fine. So that's called which one? Gulfstream. Gulfstream. Okay, so there you go. Man. Okay, so there you go. Yeah. So that's called. So in the olden days, they wouldn't do it with horses; they would do it with yonim, with different birds and things like that. Right? He comes and he says, "Sochare." Right? He comes and he says this, "Sochare shvi'it." Another one is that they do business with things on Shavuot, meaning Shavuot is Shemitah. So Shemitah, you're not allowed to do business with your property on Shemitah. Shemitah is 100% off limit. You come, yeah, he's checking it, yeah. So he says, right, you come and you start doing business with that. Right, what happens? In all these cases, the guy becomes pasul le'edut, a gambler, right? Or they're all different forms of gambling, or people that they don't care about money. What does that mean? They don't care. Meaning they were talking about somebody that he's stealing from Shavuot, so he's selling his produce on Shavuot, or even malveh beribit, which means he's charging with interest to another Jew. In all these cases, he's pasul edut. Once he's pasul edut, he cannot swear. So you flip it to the guy in front of him, then now he swears and he takes. So for example, let's say right now you gave me a pikadon, and I come and I tell you, what are you talking about? I don't have a pikadon. So now I would have to come and I would have to swear, and then I become patur, correct? If I cannot swear because I'm pasul ledut, for whatever reason, as we already said, right, repeat the interest, the gambling, the this, that, whatever the reason is, what do? They flip it. So now instead of me swearing and I become patur, they flip it that now you have to swear and you take out the money. Before I swore and I become exempt of paying you money. Now you flip it and now you have to swear and you're going to have to take out from me the money. Okay? The last case was Hachenvani al pinkaso keitzad. What's the case of the chenvani on his pinkas? So Mordechai right before just mentioned what? We're talking like in Eretz Yisrael that they do everything's on credit. So you go to the makolet and boom, charge it. All of a sudden at the end of the month they come, they give you a huge bill and you're like, Ribono shel olam, what's going over here? Yeah, what's going on over here? Right? So the chenvani al pinkaso keitzad. Lo shiomar lo, right? We're not coming and saying katuv al pinkasi sheta chayav lim et hamizuz. We're not talking about that he comes and he says, listen, it's written that you owe me 200 zuz. Right? He says, Omello, he comes and he says, Ela Omello, ten lebanai satayim chitin, ten lepoali sela maot. But rather the case was, he comes and he tells him, listen, give 2 sa'ah of chitin to my son, or give to my poel a sela maot. Vehu omer, ve'az hu omer, natati, I gave it. Ve'hen omrim lo natalu, and he said they didn't take it. Hu nishva v'notel, so the chimvan, he's going to swear and he's going to take from the balabait. And they're going to swear and they're going to take also from the balabait. Okay? Meaning 2 different cases. One more time. We're not talking about the case that Mordechai said. Because Mordechai was talking about just how much do you owe at the end of the month. It's a statement of how much did you take from a kolet. That wasn't the case. The case was, I went and I told you, you have to give my son wheat. I need for the adafina. So I come to you and I say, he says, what are you talking about? I already gave it to him. So what? You gave it to him? He said you didn't give him anything. So what's going to happen? That was the case, right? Second case, you remember we mentioned already that many times, right? We learned this in the halachot of bal talim, of paying your workers on time. Miyomot ten scharo and bal talim. Yeah. So if you remember, we learned this for the ones that come at nighttime. Yeah, we learned it in Smichat Chaver.
One second. Why only me? He comes at night.
Yeah. So he comes and he says like this. Listen carefully.
הוא מכין פיצות, הוא רופא לפחות, יש לו סיבה.
Yeah. Pay attention. One more time. Yeah. So what happens is like this. We learned that what happens right now if you directed the person, directed the person to get paid.
What?
You directed the person to get paid.
What does that mean?
Let me explain. Which means, right? I come and I have to pay you. You worked for me. In the olden days, many times I didn't have cash. But what I would do is I would come and tell you, go to the chenvani, right? To the storekeeper, and he's gonna pay you. And then I owe him. That's the way it used to be many times. So, yeah, it's like a cash advance. It's like a cash advance or the check, whatever you want to call them, all those people. Yeah. So what happens is that so what happens is I come and I tell them, go to the chenvani, and there's the balabait. The second that I tell you to go to the chenvani, I become patur from paying you for that day because it's considered I already paid you. Because basically I gave over the debt that he's going to pay you today. Okay, and then I don't do an avera I don't do the avera of getting you right, of getting you the paying on time. So now what happens is though that the poalim, the workers, they come and they say, yeah, but he never paid us. So now here you have a problem now. So he says over here, so what happens? So therefore they're going to swear and they're going to take from the balabait. Okay? Amar ben Nanas, says ben Nanas, how do these guys come to a Shvuat Shav? At the end of the day, right, whether it's the Chenvani or the Poalim, right, for sure one of them is swearing falsely. Meaning, what's the case? The Chenvani is going to swear, and the Poalim or the son is going to swear. The son swears that he didn't give him anything. The Chenvani, the storekeeper, is going to swear that he gave him something. And the same thing with the workers. Somebody's swearing falsely. Meaning, if you have two people swearing, one of them swearing that he gave, and the other one swearing that he didn't receive, there's something wrong here. Meaning somebody's swearing falsely here. So answers the Mishnah, Elahu notel shelo bishvua, vehen notlim shelo bishvua. But rather, you're right. The chenvani is going to take the money without a shavua, and also the workers are going to take without a shavua. Meaning, they're going to take without a shavua ki karadin. That means the Chachamim never made such an institution, right, at all. So according to this, that's what he says. Also, that which the Chenvani is going to take without a Shavua is also Minikar Adin. Okay? So it means basically, he doesn't even have to swear. He just comes and he collects. Right? Certain people, they could collect without swearing. Who is that? A worker or the Chenvani, the storekeeper. So the storekeeper and the worker could collect without swearing. Okay. Now we're going to go, yes, from the Balabait. Now we're going to go through a few cases. Listen carefully. Amar lechenvani telni bedinar perot venatan lo. Yeah, imagine right now the balabait comes and he tells the storekeeper, "Give me with a dinar perot." So look, I'm going to give you $5, right? Whatever the value of a dinar was. Give me fruits for that value. Venatan lo, he gives it to him. Amar lo, afterwards he comes and he tells to the balabait, "Tell me the dinar. Give me the dinar." Amar lo, he says, "What are you talking about? I already paid you." And you put it in your pocket, meaning in your pocketbook, like in your wallet. You understand? So Yishava balabait. So here the balabait has to swear that he paid him. Amallo, and then he becomes patur. Yeah. And now the balabait, and now the chenvani is asking for his money. The guy says, "What are you talking about? I paid you already." And you put it in your wallet. He didn't give him the dollar. He says, "Give me fruits valued for $1." So the guy comes, he gives him the fruits. Afterwards, he comes and he says, "By the way, where's my dollar?" He says, "What are you talking about? I gave it to you." And you put it in your pocket. You put it in your in your wallet. So the balabait has to swear that he paid, and then he doesn't have to give it again. Amarlo, if he comes and he tells him, "Ten li et haperot," give me the fruits. Amarlo, he says, "I already gave them to you, and you already took them to your house." Yishavach chenvani. Again, now here the chenvani is going to swear, and then he's going to be patur from giving the fruits again. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, kol haperot shebiyado, right? Yado al-elyuna. Whoever has the fruits in his hands, he has the upper hand. Meaning, according to Yehuda, he says that it's not derech for the chenvani to sell shelo be'akafa letet perot before giving the money. So therefore, when the chenvani is coming and asking for the money, right, the balabait is patur also without a shavua. Meaning like this, is it like nowadays, for example? When was the last time you saw somebody's going to give you something, produce, without paying? Very rarely people will give you something without paying. Right? You want something, you have to pay for it first.
No.
Right? Huh?
No. When you sit in a restaurant.
Continues the Mishnah. Keshem shamru, just like they see that in a woman that she's going to be pogemet ktuvata, that she's going to say on her shtar ketubah that it's paid a little bit. Loti para ela bishvua, she could only swear with a shivua. Right? What does that mean? Imagine the guy comes and he already starts paying off part of the ketubah. So if he starts paying off part of her ketubah is now peguma. It's like defected. Why is it defected? Because the document says that you owe her 200 zuz. And let's say once upon a time was a year's salary. So imagine, nowadays it's worth nothing. Right? But once upon a time, 200 zuz was a lot of money. Imagine a year's salary. Right? There could be whatever, 40, 50,000 in minimum if it's going to be a, right? So all of a sudden, he starts paying something back. So now she has to swear to collect. If you have only one witness testifying that it's actually paid off, again, you only have to only pay it with a shivua, right? And it's only going to be from nechasim meshubadim nichsei yetomim lo tipra b'shivua. The same thing, the same halacha would apply. Whenever you're going to collect the ketubah from nechasim meshubadim or nechasim nichsei yetomim, you only could take money with a shivua. Because remember, we wanted to protect the orphans. So in order for us to protect an orphan, anytime you collect anything from an orphan's property, you would have to swear. Why? We don't want it to be so accessible, so easy that the guy just comes. You told me, you think that they know what's going on. Their father, he was the one in charge of all the business dealings. And all of a sudden, the guy comes, right? And exactly. So the guy comes, and so therefore, they have to swear. That's a rule. The same halacha would apply when there's a lien. Nechasim meshubadim means that there's a lien on the property. Also, they're going to have to come and they're going to have to swear. The hanifrat shelo befanav. The same halacha would apply is that if a woman's going to collect her ketubah not in front of the husband. So, for example, let's say he sent the get through a messenger. Again, she has to swear. She has to swear a shavua in order to take out the money. Because again, since the husband's not here, if the husband was here, maybe he would have said, "Listen, I already paid you back, or already paid you, or whatever it is." Here they come, they send the ketubah, and now she wants the money. So it becomes very problematic. The same halacha would apply to yitomim, right? To yitomim, lo yiparu ela b'shvua. They shouldn't, right, pay back unless it's going to be with a shavua. Okay. So now what happens is that says the Gemara. Imagine right now they come, and this is talking about again the yitomim, right? That we just said that they cannot take out, they cannot pay without a shavua. So just like they obligated a case of shavua, what happens now in the following case? They have to swear shavua shelo pakadnu abba, that he didn't tell us nothing at the time of his death. Lo amar lanu abba, and the father didn't say that it was paid. We didn't find that it was actually paid off. Rabbi Yochanan Memroka says, even if it's going to be that the child was born after the death of the father, so he's going to swear and he's going to take the money. Amar Rabbi Shmuel, it says Rabbi Shmuel, if there's witnesses that the father said during the time of death that this was not paid off, so then he takes all that shavua, meaning like this. Usually we just said that if whenever you're going to collect from orphans, you always have to swear. But if there's two witnesses, that the father said at his deathbed that this document is not paid, so then they could collect it even without a shavua. Why? Because you have two witnesses. The father admitted to it. Now there's going to be people that there's going to swear, right, without a tana vadait. What does that mean? the Chachamim came and they said they have to swear even if it's not a real claim. Number one, ashutfin, arisin v'apotrupusin. Right? What does that mean? Right? These people, whether they're partners, sharecroppers, or apotropos is like an agent which is in charge of the estate, right? Administrative agent, right? These are people that are usually in charge, right, of the estate. Or if a woman, she does businesses, right, in and out of the house. Or, for example, one of the sons that he's in charge of the business. Amarlo, he comes and he tells, right, meaning one of the people, they come and they say, Mata Tuanin, what do you want? So he says, we just want you to swear. Chayav, he's obligated to swear. Meaning, they didn't come and they say, you stole in this case or the other case. They come and they say, you know what? You have money from the state. They said, in which case? What do you talk? Swear. They obligate you to swear. And you have to swear. And the reason why is because even if it's not a tanat vadai, which means it's not a real claim, because usually a real claim has to be something that happened. I can't just say, you owe me money. Why? I just say, you owe me money. Swear. Swear. Tell me how. A loan. When was the loan? I sold you something I didn't pay back. There has to be a claim. Meaning it doesn't exist just to come and make somebody swear. You understand? But, right, what happens now, though, is that in this case, the fact that these are people that they're always doing the business, right? They're partners. So a partner, I can never challenge a partner. He's got the same rights as I do. Or for example, he's a sharecropper. He's in my field. He's working my field. So he's got all the fruits. So if he's going to take, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what's going on. So therefore, I can make him swear even without a real claim. Why? I want to make sure that he's trustworthy. So I come and I say, you didn't take any of the fruits. You didn't do that. I can make you swear. So he says, right? Chayav, chelku, hashutfin varusin. However, what happens if they divided the money already? Now you can't. But if they do gilgul shivua, you remember what gilgul shivua was? Gilgul shivua was a gilgul. What's a gilgul? I cannot make you swear. Why? We already, what was it called? Dissolved the partnership. Right? We dissolved the partnership. We dissolved the sharecropper. Each one already took their property, took their things. There's nothing left. Fine. So I can't make you swear anymore. Why? It's a done deal. But if I could obligate you a shivua for something else, that's called gilgul shivua. What is gilgul shivua? You're chayav a shivua because of A. So now I say, by the way, well, you're already, so now I add, meaning in the same shivua I say and swear also for this. Meaning it's called gilgul shivua. I'm rolling it on. Right? It's like a roll on. Meaning by itself, I can't make you swear. But once you're obligated to swear here, you're going to swear there. The last part of the Mishnah, right? Shemitah is going to cancel out, right, the Shevuah, right? That means if you were obligated a Shevuah because of a debt, right, now, just like Shemitah cancels out the debt, it cancels out the Shevuah as well. So you're not obligated. Okay? Until here, clear? This was all the Mishnah. So between, the last stuff and this stuff, we have the full Mishnah. It was almost a page just of a Mishnah. Okay? Fine. Says the Gemara. Kol anishba'in shebatorah nishba'in v'lo meshalmin. But derech klal, all the people that swear in the Torah, they swear and they don't have to pay. Menalan. How do we know this is the general rule? The pasuk says, v'lakach be'alav v'lo yishalem, mi she'alav leshalem lo shavua. It says in the Torah, this is talking about a shomer sachar, a paid watchman. Meaning I gave you something to watch and I'm paying you for it. Right? Now what happens is that there was a force majeure, it got lost, or stalled, lost, or whatever it was. So it says in the Torah, lakach be'alav, he's going to take the shivuat shomer, ve'lo yishalem, and he doesn't have to pay. That means he's going to swear and he doesn't have to pay. So mi she'alav l'shalem, the one that has to pay, he has to swear. So therefore, he's going to be nishba, and he doesn't pay back. So I give you this, and I tell you, listen, watch this for me. Here's $10 for watching it for me. You become a shomer sachar because you're getting paid to watch over something. Shomer sachar. All of a sudden gets lost or stolen or whatever it is. So now you're going to swear to become exempt. So the Torah says, where do you learn that you're going to swear to become exempt? It says in the pasuk, v'lakach be'alav v'lo yishalem. Fine. Now there's other people that they swear and they take the money. That's a takanat chachamim. So maishna socher sechir. Why is it that a worker, he swears and he gets paid? So I'm going to view Shmuel, halachot gdolot shanukam. We learned here a lot of great halachot. So says the Gemara, halachot, hani ilchat aninu. This is what you're talking about. This is halachah Moshe Sinai. What does it mean halachot? right? He says, right? He says what? This is halacha Moshe Sinai. I thought it was takanah chachamim. So he said, no, you're right. Ela ima takanot gdolot shanu kan. It's not halachot. When you say halachot, it's mashma halacha Moshe Sinai. Halacha Moshe Sinai means even if it's not written in the Torah, but they accepted it from Moses on Sinai. That's called halacha Moshe Sinai. It comes, meaning it's an oral tradition that this came from our Sinai. That is called halacha Moshe Sinai. That's halachot. If I say it's a takana, it's takanat chachamim. Takanat chachamim means we have a takana from the rabbis. The rabbis instituted a certain halacha. So he says, gidolot, mikal di kaktanot. When you said it's takanot gdolot or halachot gdolot, so it's mashma, there's the big ones and small ones. What are we talking about over here? So he says like this. It says Rav Nachman name Shmuel. Takanot kevuot. It's not gadol and katan. It's not big and small. Because what does that mean, big, small? What are we talking about exactly? He says we're talking about takanot kevuot, fixed institutions. That's what we're talking about. Okay? Akrua rabbanan lishvua mi balabait, v'shadua as-sachir. Right? The rabbis uprooted the shivua from the balabait and they put it on the worker. Mishum kedei chayav. Right? In order for the parnasa of the sachir. Because if not, right, he's not going to pay him back. And then he has no money to live. Meaning like this, imagine right now it was so easy for the balabait, he's just going to swear and then he doesn't have to pay anything. Now the guy misken, he was just working, he's working on minimum salary. Remember, usually who are the ones that are making the millions? The guys on the top of the pyramid, right? And who are the other ones, the workers? Because they're finishing the month. You understand? And by the way, you should know that a lot of times that happens, and that happens in many societies, right? Here in America, it's also one of the biggest problems because the ones which are on the top, they're the ones that are making the best, the big bucks, and then all the workers, because they have food, what to even feed their families. They're not making ends meet. Yeah, and this is happening all over the place. You understand? So the same thing. Imagine the guy comes, he just swears, so that's it, patur from pain. And the guy misken, he needs parnasa, he doesn't even have what to eat. Yeah? So says the Gemara, Mishum kedei chayav de sachir kansira lelebalabait, but he says, I don't understand you. Huh? Yes. Right? Says the Gemara, I don't understand. He says what? Because of kedei chayav, because of that we have the parnasa of the guy, right? We're going to give a penalty to the balabait. So balabait gufeh, nichale de mishtaba sachir vekabel. He said, no, it's better for the balabait that he also swears and he takes the money. Ki echad itaglan lepolin, so way people will always come, meaning like this. Imagine right now, right, the balabait, he gets a name that he never pays his workers. And then he swears that he gets out of it. People are never going to come to work for him. Why? Because why would I come work for a guy that he's always, what's the word? Swindling, no? The word is swindling out of his obligations, right? Imagine, I come to work for the guy. No, I paid you. So he's never going to get workers. So he says it's better for the balabait that he's actually going to do such a thing, that the other guy, the worker, is going to swear and take the money. So he'll find workers. Because if not, it doesn't work. So it says the opposite. Sachid nichal lishtabar balabait venifka, right? It's better if that way he, right, the other guy should get a job. Meaning, imagine right now you keep on seeing that there's a guy, he keeps on working for people, and he keeps on swearing, taking more money. So nobody's going to want to hire him. Meaning, we were looking at it from with the glasses for the balabait, the employer. Now we're looking at it, right, as an employee, that he should get a job. So says the Gemara, balabait al korche agar. The balabait, he has to take it whether he likes it or not, because basically he needs workers. So says the Gemara, also the other way around. The workers need to work. Meaning, any way that you look at it, there's always going to be the flip side of the coin, right? You're saying, no, the balabait needs workers. Well, he says, yeah, but the workers need to work. So he says, Ela balabait taru bepo'alavhu. The balabait is always busy. So therefore, he's got a lot of different workers. So he could make a mistake. And it could be that he doesn't realize that he didn't pay this one, he did pay the other one, or he paid that. He doesn't realize. So therefore, he says, Tiklun chachamim, that he says he has to give it to him, right, with a Shevuos. So just give it to him without a Shevuos. He says, no. Meaning like this. The balabait, right, he's got a lot of employees. So he has to pay a lot of people. So it could be that he overlooked one or he doesn't realize, and therefore he has to pay. So says the Gemara, okay, fine. So just make sure that he's going to actually pay, but don't make him swear then. Says no. If you don't make him swear, so his mind is thinking the entire time, this guy just cheated me out. So when the guy comes and he swears that you didn't pay him, so he's like, oh, okay, fine. Okay, so now I'm going to pay him. Yeah, that's yes. Right? So says the Gemara, so just give him the money always in front of Edim. So the answer is the Gemara, tircha lemita. It's too much of a tircha. Imagine right now, every single time the balabait has to pay a worker, he has to get witnesses. Ve'leitiv le meikara. So says the Gemara, give it to him from the beginning. So he says, shnehem rotzim b'atkafa. He says, whether it's a balabait or the poel, they want it to be on credit. So in such a fashion, it's going to be on credit. Memhe amud bet, 45b. Right? Yehachiv so, afilu katzatz nami. So even if he's going to be katzatz, there's going to be a price. So alama tanya, why do we learn then in the Braita, Uman Omer, if the Uman says, Shtaim katzatz ali, right, that you gave me two. Vehala Omer, he says, no, you only gave me one, right? Look, katzat li elechat. Which means the Uman comes and he's taking out money from the Balabait. He has to bring the Raya. So says the Gemara, Ketzitza, if there's Ketzitza, for sure you're going to remember about it. Ketzitza means that there's a fixed price. Meaning, if there's going to be a fixed price, we know that there's a fixed price between us. If so, afilu avar zmano, even if it passed the time, nami the same halacha. Alama Tanya, why do we learn avar zmano lo notal lo are ze no notel? He's not going to swear and he's not going to take. So says the Gemara, chazaka em balabait over bechol beval talim. We have a chazaka that a balabait is not going to be over on bal talim. You remember that's what we started off the shiur. We learned in Smichat Chaver last zman when we were learning about money matters, the four berachot, right? So what we were learning about was paying workers on time. And there's a negative code. There's 5 averot if a person does not pay a worker on time. 5 averot. You know what that is, 5 averot? Imagine, 5 averot. You come, you don't pay a mashkiach on time, 5 averot. Positive commandment of yomot titen scharo, and 4 negative commandments, right? Of baltalin and everything. You understand? So, yeah? 100%. What do you think? Yeah. So you have five averot. The reason why I said, yeah, he says, it says the Gemara, there's a chazakah that the balabait is never going to be over on a isur doraita of baltalin, meaning that baltalin, he has to pay his workers on time. He's not going to do that. So it says, what are you talking about? I thought you told me that the balabait is busy with his workers. So he says, that's only before the time of actually paying. Once it comes the time of the payment, then he remembers and he's going to pay them. So says the Gemara, so what? Are you going to suspect that the worker is going to steal? And therefore you're going to suspect that he's going to start asking for money that doesn't belong to him? So answers the Gemara, by the balabait, there's 2 chazakot. Number 1, the balabait is not going to be over and baltalim. And number 2, the sachir is not going to wait to be paid. So because of there's 2 chazakot that the balabait is going to pay his workers on time. Number 1, that he's not going to be over in isur doraita. And number 2, right, that the worker is not going to wait to be paid. Amar Rav Nachman Meshmuel, says Rav Nachman Meshmuel, Lo shanu ela shesecharo be'edim. We're talking about where he gets the edim. But if he actually got the workers without edim, he could tell him, I never got you to work for me. So then he could tell him, Elmaleh Rabbi Yitzchak, says Rabbi Yitzchak to Rav Nachman, Yasher, Chazak Baruch. V'chein amar Rav Yochanan, so too says Rav Yochanan. So says the Gemara, Mikra de Paliga le Reshakish. So it's mashma that Reshakish is arguing. So he could de'amni mishta v'shati le v'shatikle. So it's mashma that he was actually drinking water in the Bet HaMidrash, and therefore he kept quiet. And some people say Misha v'shaya v'shatikle, that Shakish was waiting until he finished his words and then he's going to speak. Meaning you never cut somebody off in the middle. You always wait until they finish and then you're able to speak. So Itmar Nami was also stated in the name of Menashe Bar Zvi Amarav, Lo shanu ela shesacharo be'edim. That's only if he has a deem that he actually rented him out. But if he got him without a deem, he could just say, listen, I never actually got you anything. So therefore he could say, I paid you back. So Amar Rabbi Mechama says, Rabbi Mechama, Kama Me'aliyah Shmata, look how good is these words. So Amar Le Rabba Ma'ay Meluta, why is it so good? If so, Shvuat Shomrim D'Chai V'Rachmana, why did the Torah say by Shvuat Shomrim? What's the case? Mitosh Yechol Amar, he could tell him, Lo Adam, it never happened. So now he could also say Nensu. Meaning like this, I come and I give you this to watch over. Yeah, you with me? I give you this to watch over. Now, if I give you this to watch over and there's no edim, you could just say you never gave me anything. So therefore, if already there's no edim that I gave it to you, you could just say it was a nasnu, it was honest, or something happened. So answers the Gemara, dafki lebedim. No. I brought it to you in front with edim. So now, mitosh yechol amar, since he could tell him I gave it back to you, you could also say Enzu. So he said no, he gave it to him with the shtar. So usually you have to get the shtar back. You know, if I give you something with a shtar, I need the shtar back to show, right, that you gave it back to me. So miklal, so we inferred that Tervai Usil that everyone holds him afkid etzel chavero bedim, then tzarich lachzir lo bedim. B'shtar tzarich lachzir lo bedim. So Kari Namar Mechama leder Rav Sheshat, he says v'yasem dvarim ha'ele bilvavo. Tiyashkech Rav Sheshat l'Rabbi Shmuel v'amar letani mor midi sachid So he says, Elmaleh in, yes. Tanina, we learned, Sachi bizmano, nishba v'notel ketza. What's the case? בזמן שאמר לו שכרתני ולא נתת לי לו שכרי, והלאה אומר, נהי זה שכרתיך ונתתי לך שריך. אבל אמר לו, שתיים קצצת לי, והלאה אומר, לא קצצתי לך לאחת, המוציא בחברו על הראיה. He says, if I give you two and you tell me it's only one, המוציא בחברו על הראיה. So, the sefer b'raya hava. He says, reisha v'lo raya. So it's mashma that if the sefer is talking about that you have a proof, which is witnesses, the reisha is talking about without witnesses. Sabar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak says, Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, reisha v'sefer has a raya. You have witnesses. Raya de l'shalem ktani. We're talking about you actually paid. Raya de shvua lo ktani, but not raya about the shvua.